later as well.
The problem with feminism is that women want equality, but they don't really want equality. They need to
Macy's,
sign
thank
up
you for the
for
playlist, by the way.
the military, which feminists want to abolish the draft. And then we're talking about reproductive rights, um, where the women get all the choice and the men don't. Is there any other ones?
I'm sorry. I was reading something. What'd you say?
Is there any other examples other than reproductive rights?
That's crazy that she just admitted that she's not listening in a fucking conversation.
Shows that feminism was a mistake, or that feminists are disingenuous, or something like that.
I would just say, like, there's just a lack. The biggest one I would say is divorce court. 90% women get custody 80 to 90% of the time. I think 90% of alimony payments are.
I love this fucking freak, dude. Just freaky things, dude. Holy fuck. Her entire, off the perk, 100%. Her entire fucking perspective is literally like, I'm a woman and I just fucking hate women, okay? I'm going to advocate for every single thing that is just bad for women. Just grifty things. I mean, I feel like at a certain point she just like lost it though. She like believes it.
The pay gap is a myth.
She's the pick-me queen, 100%.
What do you mean by that?
I gotta pee. I'll be back. Hold on.
Oh, because women don't do the dangerous jobs in society. So, like, I just think the pay gap, the majority of the time, the majority is women making an excuse. Yeah, just excuses. Poor me. When do you
realize you're arguing from emotion right now?
Are you gonna let me finish?
Oh, I just wanted to point that out, but yeah, go ahead.
All right.
It's just important to know.
You asked what I think.
Well, the pay gap is more concrete than, I mean, I asked what.
I mean, when you take into account the number, women work less hours.
Right.
Don't do the most would you say that's true? Women work less hours?
Yeah, statistically that's true.
Would you say it's true that we don't do the most dangerous jobs in society?
Yeah, statistically that's true.
Would you agree that the majority, if you look at female millionaires, the richest women came from divorce?
Okay.
True or not true?
Yeah, that's true, I guess. I think so.
Okay. So what are we complaining about?
What does that have to do with the pay gap? Any of that?
I love when people say pay gap. Oh, it's because women don't do the dangerous jobs. Yeah, you know, like being a fucking delivery driver, okay? A famously high-paid job. Or, I don't know, working in construction, famously high-paid job. Women always want to do non-dangerous work, like nursing, you know, which is also very low paid, just like the other jobs, right? It's just like, it's so ridiculous, okay? It is so fucking ridiculous. Like, oh man, these roofers, they're getting paid too high. It's like, shut the fuck up. You know what is not a dangerous job? Being a fucking CEO, okay? Being a CEO, that is not a dangerous job. And that job is the highest paid job. It's not even a real fucking job.
Like 3%. Last time I checked, it was 3%.
Oh, so there is a pay gap.
Yeah, but that's 3%.
So, but it's not a myth if there's 3%.
Yeah, but the number they used to push was like 77 cents to the dollar.
But that's what it is without the. It's about 20% without the control. Yeah.
Right, and so, yeah, I mean, when women. Like, I just think if we wanted to be equal, then do the same jobs men do.
She's also not doing a very good job. What, isn't this like her job? Isn't her job literally to fucking advocate against women? Why is she doing such a bad job at it? She just seems so like, whatever. Like, she seems so aloof. Why? I thought she was like better than this. I've never really seen her outside of like random fucking clips on Twitter where everyone's dunking on her. But like, at least she used to have a little bit of confidence when she's delivering this dog shit, right? Like, if I were to turn around, okay, and not deliver a top of the hour ad break to you exactly at the top of the hour and tell you that if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with Twitch Prime or by getting gifted a sub, okay? That's my job. If I didn't do my job, then obviously you'd be like, Hassan, is everything all right? What's going on? This is your fucking job. It's the only thing you do. Sakura Gore, thank you for the 10 gifted subs, allowing 10 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Here's a 3-minute ad break now, by the way. Here's I'm unmuting.
In addition, the research team found that the importance of human capital varied across wage distributions and part-time work, as well as female-oriented occupations. The updated result explained about 20 to 70% of the raw wage gap over the wage distribution, but it left an adjusted wage gap of 10 to 15%. That was in 2019, according to the U.S. Department of Labor.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at that, but the stuff I've seen, it's very small. It's like 3%.
What stuff have you seen?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I can send it to you.
Sure.
Okay.
But I just gave you a pretty concrete. I mean, the U.S. Department of Labor. Do you consider that a credible source?
Yeah. I mean, if that's true, it's just a lot of times like there are like parts of the study that they don't talk about. So like even on
okay, but like even if you don't know the study, why is your immediate response? Well, I didn't really read the study, but I'm sure the study is somehow twisted and manipulated. Like, that's not wrong. People do actually manipulate studies. Ethan would be the one manipulating the study in this circumstance, not the Department of fucking Labor, okay? But also, I mean, she's got like, someone in the chat says she's on that Kamala Harris does. She's like, is she zooted? What is this? Like, what's happening? Why is she coming across like she's the most barred out person I've ever seen on fucking
like
camera?
a number you gave me earlier. Like there was more to it.
Which number? Which one? I'm sorry. Go ahead. We'll unpack that.
The 12% of abortions are not done on the surgery table of the emergency room. These cases are overwhelmingly doctors advising abortions ahead of time in case there are risks for the mother in pregnancy.
That sounds reasonable to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a doctor is qualified to say this baby is going to put your life at risk. I would trust the doctor to say that, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
like,
but they're saying it's
no, I trust JustPearlyThings more, Ethan. You just got fucking owned, baby. After all, allegedly she has a womb, so you don't.
12% number they're giving you is highly inflated.
Based on what? Because what you just read to me doesn't disprove what I said at all. It actually
does she have
sense.
people in her corner sending her information?
They did not say that.
Who's they?
They didn't say that. So here,
who's they?
It's just someone I do research with, so
so just someone.
Okay. Yeah, don't.
That's good. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Don't push, right? Here's an interesting analysis. I thought maybe you'd be interested. Women don't do the dangerous jobs. Women are overrepresented in healthcare. You know that probably, right?
Yeah, it's the number one employer is nursing.
Then hopefully you can explain to me why when you look at the pay
a notoriously non-dangerous field, by the way, healthcare.
There's a huge disparity of the average wage of male doctors versus female doctors. You can see here, and even this is from 2022, last year. This is again from the Physician Compensation Report. Male doctors make on average $285,000 per year. Female doctors make on average $228,000 per year. So this is the woman's field, and yet they're still making significantly less than their male counterparts.
Okay, does it say why?
No, this is just raw data. This is just raw data.
I mean, you'd have to look at why. So
we could.
The other part of this, the other issue with this is that Ethan will often come across like way better to an audience than the girly chick, right? Because like her audience is misogynistic and she's a woman and he's a man, so like Ethan doesn't even need to overperform for her audience to immediately be like, yeah, you kind of sucked on that, like maybe you should stop being a dumb woman or whatever. So it's kind of like it's not dissimilar to Ethan, unfortunately, or many other like people who do debates, unfortunately, when they're like speaking to debate bros or alpha podcasters or whatever who are trying to do debates, their audience will not immediately be open-minded someone like Ethan because they're like, oh, well, he's beta. He's like openly beta. He looks beta. I don't care. He's beta, right? So that actually absolutely flips in Ethan's favor in this debate. And he's already doing great anyway. To be fair, to be honest, this is in control for specialty. Women tend to go to pediatrics whose competency is less than IM-FM. There still exists a pay gap, but it's probably less. Yeah. The pay gap, depending on what field you're looking at, might be actually smaller than you think. But ultimately, it doesn't matter because there still is a pay gap for women and men in the exact same field with the exact same level of education.
Yeah,
what do you mean majority?
Women,
What do you mean majority of women?
oh my gosh, the majority of the women complaining about this
Based
stuff
on what? Majority
are just
of women.
Whiners. Just what I see, whiners,
What you
big
see?
whiners.
And then not only that, but women fields that are populated heavily with women, obviously, famously underpay. Nursing being a great example of this. Regardless of how taxing the job is, regardless of how difficult it is, it doesn't matter. Education is another field where people are underpaid regularly. I mean, these are very important. These are very, very important sectors. Okay. And yet for some reason, like any kind of social services, nursing, healthcare, but like elderly care related things, these are all incredibly important industries that regularly underpay.
Or just whiners. They're big whiners. And I have never had trouble getting a job. I've never had trouble getting the same pay as a guy. And I think that in 2023, it's just a bunch of excuses.
So what's your experience in the work? You use your own experience as an example of why women pay gap doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm not blind.
Well, hold on. What's your experience in the workforce?
I always had a job from like after high school in the summer.
This isn't even like that good content ultimately because like she's just so boring.
How long did you work in corporate America?
A couple of years.
Couple of years. I have.
She's trying to do that thing where it's like,
right,
I don't really care about this at all. Like this is beneath me, but I still came on this broadcast
working in corporate
and I'm
America.
like in front of a larger audience than I've ever seen in my entire life. And yet she's like nonchalant, like over the top nonchalant in an effort to try to make it seem like her lack of experience in this field or her lack of intelligence and her, it's impossible basically for her to craft a cohesive narrative. And so for that reason, she's just trying to make up for it by being like, oh, I just don't care. I don't care.
If what you're showing me is real, you did this to someone else, but then there's like something else to it. But if what you're showing me is true.
Yeah, it's all true. This is all sourced.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, you could easily look this up yourself.
Can I see the parameters for the control? I'm just curious.
Sure, we can do that. Yeah. You can pull up the U.S. Department of Labor one.
The doctor one. Could I see?
By the way, we've long since moved past, but I did find that study in the Rollo Tony video, the Swedish study from several years ago about Swedish prison system. I'm not sure. We can loop back to that. Wait,
what was it? What was it? I'm unfamiliar.
Here, I got a bunch of tabs open. Where did it go? In the meantime, here I'll send this.
How old is JustPearlyThings? She's not 26. That's a lie.
Can you open it? Because I don't have the Zoom on my.
No, she's not 26.
Dan sent a link to you.
No, you're fucking lying.
That's a parameters one.
That's the Department of Labor's 2019 study. There's a couple more. I guess we didn't. Really
What do you? I'm curious. What do you think it is? The wage gap.
Well, it's complicated, right? I don't think it's as simple as saying it's a myth and women
70
who
cents
complain
on
are
a dollar.
lazy. That doesn't seem like a.
That's like across the board, and it's unfortunately one that like misogynists will fucking rip apart.
You seem to think that the wage gap is real, right? And that women. Do you think women are discriminated against?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Because what barriers do women have today? In 2023, like I just genuinely don't understand
barriers, right? It's not about barriers. It's about. I
mean, that's
about norms. It's about like
there's definitely
patriarchy.
barriers still. There's definitely a lot of barriers. It's that the overwhelming majority of people in positions of power are still men. They very clearly still have those sorts of biases when they're hiring new people. And those biases also factor into contract renegotiations and any kind of like negotiation for your salary, which is part of the reason why women are underpaid. There's still a sexual harassment and sexual assault problem in most workplaces. That certainly doesn't help women working in the workplace. These are not even concepts that are like all that. These are not even concepts that are that controversial, even for the right wing. Jordan Peterson and the like actually admit that these are very real problems. And their solution obviously is different. Their solution is, get back to the kitchen. And they say that in a much kinder way. But the reality is they very regularly will say it. Like, they're like, well, we don't know what happens when men and women are in the workplace and these harlots are caking on makeup like a trollop, And it's like, yeah, but you're victim blaming in that situation, but you're still admitting that there is a problem in the workplace for these kinds of things. So, that is definitely some of the barriers, I think. Like, it's illegal for a lot of companies, but they will favor men because they don't have to worry about maternity leave. Someone literally told me they wouldn't hire me because I could get pregnant. Yeah, that is a huge difference as well. That is one of the reasons why companies will make those sorts of decisions. They won't openly admit it because I'm pretty sure it's illegal to openly admit that, but they do it regardless.
Not long ago? In regards to
Maybe
the draft?
100 years ago. Okay, fine, 100 years ago.
100 years ago.
I'm saying in the past you could argue, but in 2023, I just don't think there's anything stopping you. I think it's like very much a victim mindset to tell women, like, to go up telling us that we're oppressed. Like, I think that I can do anything minus like the physical stuff, but I think I can apply for any job a guy can if I want. I can go after any job that I want. I can ask for more money if I want. And I don't think that men are out there discriminating against women. I don't think that men are, men are such capitalists. Men want to make money. It's like, if women were so much cheaper, they would just hire all women.
Right. It's not how it works, but I've never claimed to have a solution, right? I'm just saying there is a problem, which you deny.
I'd also say, I grew up in a family business too. So my dad hired people all the time. Like, he had over 200 employees.
Wasn't your mom the president? Was she the leader of the company?
What was you're researching my family now, huh?
Well, that's all public.
No, my mom, I don't know what they titled it. Like, I don't
Your
think
mom
really
was the president, I believe, but
yeah,
based on an interview.
they might have titled it one thing or another. My mom did more of the marketing sales side. My dad did the engineering and the software.
Okay.
I think they wanted to get some grant, so I think like they might have had her like they did that to get some grant from the government or something. I don't remember. But
so
this is mind-numbingly unconvincing. I am legitimately in awe at how bad she is performing. We've had genuine mentally ill cult people on the Ethan Klein Off the Rails podcast episodes, and they have come across more coherent and more convincing than this person who quite literally has built an entire career. Like, Ollie London did a better job than she did. And Ollie London is out of his fucking mind, dude. That's crazy to me. That is actually crazy. Does it really not take much to be a pick-me girl on the red pill side? Is that what it is? That they're just like, well, that's a woman, and she's saying things I agree with. So she doesn't really need to know anything. It's all feelings, no facts. Anytime Ethan brings up fucking facts, she's like, well, I don't know. Maybe. Like, it's kind of shocking. I have never actually sat through, as far as I can remember, and sometimes I forget things. As far as I can remember, I don't recall ever sitting through like a long, extensive period of the girly things talking about things, any kind of issue whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it's always just short quips, right? Clipped out and maxed out on TikTok and whatnot. And it's usually across someone who agrees with her, who's just like a man saying the same things that she's saying. So I'm shocked at how bad she's performing.
Something I've heard you say quite a few times here. I'll play this clip to set it up.
The person that will get me at 40 years old, at 50 years old, is getting a different version than he had when I was 18, 20 years old.
But it's a less valuable version to men.
No, that's not the right man for me, because
no,
he will
it's not.
see the
It's not.
value.
It's not the right man for you. It's how men can't help what they're attracted to. No, it is all men. They can't. If you survey men between the ages of 20 and 80, they're all the most attracted to 22-year-olds. I peaked 3 years ago, and you guys did too. At 20, 22, 23, and this is men between the age of 20 and 80. So what men value is purity, youth, and fertility.
What
and so,
the
what would
fuck?
you be able to offer to a guy?
So that's something I've heard you say. Obviously, you strongly believe that, right? That women who are past the age of 22, their value goes down, and all men just want young girls. So I guess what's the message behind this? What is it? Who are you speaking to, and what is it that?
It's just true. Men do want younger women.
Well,
Okay.
I want to ask you this before we get into that. What is your message?
45.
Who are you speaking to, and what is it you're hoping that they take from this?
I just believe in speaking about things that are true. And I think a lot of times as women, we're told that we can just wait forever, get married at 35, and have a bunch of kids. And
I
that's
wanted to
just
give
not
one
true.
that's like on the physical attraction side, and another on like beyond physical attraction and like just career success overall, just to immediately diminish, immediately fucking attack this argument because it's just objectively incorrect.
On TV.
It's so
You mean like in a
stupid.
sitcom,
It's
or
such
you
a
mean like
dumb
in a-
thing to say.
No, but I'm saying like we don't have them in the media and the culture.
Well,
Like
you're saying,
family
where's our
really isn't.
homemakers?
It's really family really isn't pushed. And so I'm not saying it to dog on women, but I just think a lot of times like we're lied to. We have men are called ageist if they don't want younger women.
I don't think that's
Men
what
are
ageist means.
constantly shamed when they have a standard.
What?
So it's not. That's like a conversation from a 3-hour episode. I don't remember the
I've
context.
heard you bring it up a lot. I know that.
Yeah, because it's true,
So
and a lot of times
you're
as
speaking,
women.
You're speaking to women. You're saying past 22, your value is going down. And,
yes,
and your
to
message,
men, your value on the sexual marketplace. So your value, like that doesn't mean like your personal worth. I'd like to just clarify that, but yeah.
and so your message to
But
them
she also thinks a woman's personal worth is quite literally attached to how men value them as objects of sexual desire. So she's taking the long way to say the exact same thing.
Now, you seem to offer a lot of advice to who you're mostly giving advice to women, would you say?
I wouldn't really. Okay. I wouldn't really.
It's so funny to actually look like a real trad wife instead of all the fakers out here. Pearl looks exhausted, neglected, sleep deprived, gangly as hell, and like she's been doing laundry and cooking all day, and she's not even married yet. Gigatrad. She's working up to it. She's doing training.
Relationships
Okay,
today.
she's in a fucking hyperbaric chamber doing the laundry and the dishes.
So, as men get older, not like super old, but their value goes up. And as a man's value on the sexual marketplace goes up, they're looking for younger.
She's trad conditioning. She's doing
virgins, right?
high
That's
intensity
important.
interval training.
And so any woman who's not
Well, historically, virginity has always been a prerequisite for marriage. Like 100 years ago, 85% of women didn't admit to premarital sex. So, it's more abnormal now that women are not virgins anymore.
Do you know what an appeal to tradition is? What we did 100 years ago doesn't predict anything.
Say
to
it.
do
I'm saying
with
the
Slavery.
outcomes are better.
Say it. Slavery. Say it. Ethan, say slavery. Be like, oh, that's a tradition. You think we should go back to that?
It's tough because there are studies both ways.
For those of you who know, last time I busted that one out, that was during a Nintendo argument when you motherfuckers were like, Nintendo's the first console to do the goddamn to use the X and the A's and the B's or whatever the fuck, like the button placement during Breath of the Wild.
In front of you, like you're not blind. Women are happier with a family.
It was because you didn't like the button layout.
So then
Yeah.
again,
Exactly.
you're doing the "I'm not blind, I see this," which is like again a, kind of an emotional argument. Antidepressants didn't
You
exist
just want to
100
call me
years ago.
emotional today. That's just your go-to today.
Well, I'm trying. It's
Yeah.
hard to have a conversation
the
with somebody who
sexism
says
that I face, the sexism I face in this country. I just get called emotional.
Right. Well, it's hard to have a conversation with somebody who just says, "I feel this." You know what I mean? It's like, how do you address that in a conversation? You say, "I see this. I'm not blind." I mean, that's not really a concrete.
Well,
point to me.
I listed the before that.
Let's talk
I
about those.
listed-
Antidepressants didn't exist 100 years ago. What relevance does that have on the happiness of women then and now?
I mean, we're seeing them get more and more on antidepressants.
Well, men are on
I
antidepressants
can't-
too. I think those
Well, yeah,
are
but we're
probably
not talking.
correlated.
We're not talking about men.
But
you know,
if men and women are getting
But
on
but it's like,
antidepressants
why
at the
can't-
same rate,
why
then it
can't-
doesn't.
Why can't we have a conversation about women without talking
You're a debate
about the
bro,
men?
Hassan.
Because
That's
it
why you
doesn't
attract
seem-
the debate perverts. I'm quite literally not a debate bro. Okay. I have done debates and I will sometimes do them, but I also understand debates for what it actually is. It's just pseudo intellectual sparring. It's WWE. Debate bros think that is sophistry and debates are the only way to arrive at a truth, the real truth. Okay, it's different. It's very different than my perspective on it. Sometimes I'll watch a fucking debate because it's like funny and entertaining.
with multiple partners is good.
I think it's completely fine. I don't think there's an issue with women
Do
having
you
multiple
think it's
partners.
do you think it's good for them? Do you think it's good for
I think
women?
it depends on the
With
person and the
multiple people?
relationships. I mean, the premise is neutral. The premise doesn't imply, people, men and women have good and bad relationships. Some benefit them, some don't.
Overall, multiple partners. You would say good for women or bad for women?
I literally cannot
average-
answer that question because it makes no sense. It depends on the relationships. But let's say this. I'll answer it. I'll say I think it's good to get more experiences in life and to have multiple partners. I think it's good.
Yeah, I think it's not good.
Why?
So, I think because it leads to more heartbreak.
Heartbreak?
Yeah, like women sleeping with multiple people. I don't think that's a good thing.
You
I
can get heartbroken
don't
without
think it
sleeping
brings- I
someone.
Yeah, but that's true. But I just don't think it's the same. Women attach through
You
sex.
think it's not the same. Men attach through sex too, by the way.
Yeah, but we're not talking about men. I'm talking about women.
But so
I don't think sleeping around is great for men either, but I don't think it's the same for men and for women.
hold on. You keep saying let's talk about
and-
women, and I just want to say,
And
if there is a communal experience, then it's worth bringing up. Like you say, more women are antidepressants, but if men are on antidepressants in the same trajectory, then that would imply that it doesn't have to do with anything to do with women being promiscuous. It's more of a societal thing that affects both genders equally.
yeah, wait, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
If men and women are both on antidepressants at the same rate, then that would suggest something on a larger societal issue and not because women are promiscuous. So I think that is worth bringing up.
I mean, you could argue a lot of societal issues have come from women being promiscuous.
Okay.
So, I mean, you could if 85% of women were virgins 100 years ago and everyone's on antidepressants, maybe
So
it
was
doesn't
society perfect 100 years ago?
Maybe it doesn't have good outcomes.
Oh,
for
I
women.
can't believe everyone wasn't on antidepressants 100 years ago. You know what they were doing to women 100 years ago? Lobotomies, okay? That was the antidepressant for women 100 years ago. What are you saying right now?
Have to do with anything.
Well, you're saying the quality of life, things were better back
No,
then?
I said
don't think so.
I said we had more intact families, which I think is important.
Okay. Let's talk about where were we? We were talking about
Ethan's counter to the intact family argument should be 100 years ago women were poisoning their husbands more frequently. Okay, that's my favorite counter to this argument. Men should be fucking thanking their lucky stars every goddamn day that family court exists, okay? That divorce court exists. Because if it wasn't for divorce court, your ass would be getting poisoned by Visine right now, okay? And dying a painful death out of nowhere. We're in an unexpected fashion where you get sicker and sicker every single fucking day until you're dead, okay? Like, when women don't have an out from abuse, both physical and emotional abuse, they got to figure out a way to get out of it somehow, okay? It's crazy to me that, like, we got to we got to relegate back to, like, women just being locked into relationships.
Say you're in the dating field, right? You're looking for a partner. Right.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Sorry.
you're single essentially, I guess, and you're looking for a significant.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Okay.
So, if you're looking for men, if a man who is willing to settle, let's say you're not that old, but you're 26, and you say that anyone over 25 is like almost damaged goods or getting worse and worse.
No.
It's less valuable. It's less valuable.
Correct. Yes. I would say I was more valuable 5 years ago. Yes. In terms of the dating market. Yes.
So do you think that, how can somebody who's older and not a virgin and less valuable, how can they get in a relationship with a man and not think they're a loser? Because if you're a low value woman, then in a sense, you be judging the guy who's quote unquote settling for you because he couldn't get a higher value woman. So in a sense, a guy that you would settle for would be a loser by your own metrics. Low value.
Well, what are men supposed to do? 95% of women aren't virgins on their wedding days. You could be a multimillionaire and not get a virgin.
How do you?
But I think that's why you see more men walking away from relationships.
No. How do you enter a relationship and not think that he's a loser because he's low value?
I don't really know how to answer that question.
But it is interesting, right? Because in a sense, only a low value.
Why is she behaving like there's an inside joke here, but there is no inside joke? And the outside joke is that she's just fucking looking like an absolute goober.
Like you, who's a little bit older.
She's getting fucking rolled, dude.
Not as fertile. You are not a virgin. And also, I'll tell you something else. You like being in the foreground, which is not good for traditional marriages. I mean, he's looking for someone who wants to build a home. You don't know how to cook either.
I don't expect to be with like a high value guy. I think that's silly.
Okay. What's your
when I think of high value, I think of like top 5% of men.
So what value do you think you'll be settling on in your own personal life?
What value will I be settling on in my personal
what man do you think is reasonable for you to pursue?
I just I think that's a bit of a inappropriate question. But
that's interesting because you spend like all day talking about this stuff. I find that it's really interesting to have you put this analysis into use. Why is it inappropriate?
Because the way you're framing the question is a bit disingenuous.
How?
I think most women
how is it disingenuous?
Yeah, I think it's a bit disingenuous.
Why?
Okay.
Why? Why is it disingenuous? I'm analyzing your viability by your own metrics, which you do all day to other women and men.
Yeah.
Why is that disingenuous?
Ooh, this is fucking good, dude.
Okay.
What the fuck? I've never seen someone
I think it's fair to say, because we're talking to women about expectations and men about expectations.
This doesn't violate the debates of this doesn't violate the rules of a debate. This violates the rules of normal human interaction. She's behaving in a manner that is inconsistent with how human beings would react.
I don't know what you want me to say.
In a normal conversation.
I was a virgin. I should have waited.
No.
I don't know what. I don't. Most guys don't expect that in 2023, unfortunately. I think men adapt to the market, but I think to say that you should just sleep around is a bit silly.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking.
Well, that you were saying that like that more partners is good. I think that's a bit silly.
No. Okay, but
I think
hold
it's
on. I'm
silly
talking
to
about
say,
you,
like,
Pearl. I'm talking about you. Your value by your own metrics is going to be not super high.
For those of you who are saying her fan base will never see this or care, debates are pointless.
5 years ago.
This is the one instance where it's such an objective failure.
You are working. You're in the
that
foreground.
I don't think her fan base will, if they see this, will be on board.
I'm pretty good now. I've gotten.
You have a
lot better.
Okay, good. You're working towards it, but unfortunately,
I promise you, this is like devastating.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like you start in a certain place in life, but all you can do is improve and get better.
That's interesting. I agree. So, what is the point of telling people that they're?
Because a lot of times we're like we're lied to. We're not even told what men want. Being told that men want younger women is like crazy.
This is why,
even though that's
this is why debating anti-feminist women is like kind of a cakewalk, because like you can immediately turn it on them and be like, why are you here? Why are you talking? Why are you not in the kitchen?
Yeah, it could be.
How do you fucking abide by the standards that you've set for yourself? Why are you making it harder for yourself to exist in a society when you yourself do not fit these standards?
I mean, if
it's
you
the exact same fucking concept behind Ben Shapiro preaching masculinity.
But how are you going to settle for a low value man? Because like that, it's like, dude, come on,
a low value man.
A low value man.
I think if you get married, you're lucky to get married. That's my opinion.
Okay. He's not having a breakthrough.
I would
She's
feel
been broken
very
already,
lucky.
dude.
If I was married, I would feel.
So you'll take anything.
No, I won't take anything. A bit silly.
Your standards are quite low.
That's not what I said, but okay.
You said I'll be happy if I get married. I don't, you know what I mean? Hey,
yeah,
anybody who marries me would be great.
I didn't say to anyone.
No, when you say I'll be happy if I get married, that is desperation. You didn't say I'll be happy if I get married to like a 10 out of 10 high value male. You just said I'll be happy if I get married.
Metric. I'm not saying one way or the other.
The implication there is that you are desperate for any kind of marriage.
I think I'm a 5.
So you're saying that all men want to have sex with younger women.
What the fuck did you say?
Kind of interesting data, but are you aware that the MILF category is like the most popular? It was the #1 most searched term in 2018. MILF.
Yeah, men like to have sex with older women.
But why is it the most searched for?
Yeah,
they're looking for MILFs, and when they watch porn.
Are you saying porn is the same thing as marriage and relationships?
You say men want to have sex with young girls. Why then are men when they're fantasizing?
When you say young girls, that's a bit.
Okay, 22. I mean, what do you want me to say? Okay, young women, 22-year-olds. Why then are they going to Pornhub and looking up MILFs if they just want to?
You can't cringe when Ethan says young girls if you're literally saying they should be virgins. Men want to fuck virgins. What are you implying when you say men want to fuck virgins? You know exactly what you're saying. Don't run away from it.
It's about preference. They look for the MILF.
Okay, so I have a question.
For the record, it doesn't matter. Obviously, you can maintain your virginity. It says nothing about your like adult status. But like they 100% are implying that, okay? They want purity, inexperience, like, and it's not always pedophilic, but it's in most circumstances it stems from insecurity because guys are like deeply terrified that someone that they're partnered with will have had sexual gratification that they can't offer. That's where that comes from, okay? So it's not always like directly pedophilic. It's just insecurity. But again, but then you have the Matt Walshes of the world who openly say that girls are at their prime at like 16. That's pedophilic. Straight up.
Yeah, but so how do you explain that?
Most women want to date 5 to 7 years older. I think men go like 5 years younger.
Is there any way to explain why MILF is the most searched category?
Guys like to watch, a hot mom have sex. Yeah.
More than a young girl have sex. Apparently.
She's not hypocritical about her belief system if it's refreshing. This is a debate pervert right here, okay? This right here is a debate pervert. Brother, her belief system is broken fundamentally. It doesn't matter if she's not hypocritical. It's like looking at a Nazi and being like, well, this white supremacist Nazi has blonde hair and blue eyes, and it wants to execute everyone in society that does not. It's refreshing for a Nazi to be so not hypocritical about her consistent belief system. Belief systems can be bad. They can be wrong. Stop looking specifically at contradictions. Stop looking specifically for hypocrisies. This is a fundamental flaw in debate bros, where they like end up unironically defending people with objectively awful frames of reference just because they are technically morally consistent. Okay? Being morally consistent, if your logical system is fundamentally flawed or bad or wrong or immoral, is not a virtue. Okay? Yeah, and also, ultimately, she's not in the kitchen making a sandwich. She's being hypothetical to her beliefs, hypocritical to her beliefs, not hypothetical. What am I saying? Exactly. So, if she was so hyper-focused on all the values that she promotes, she would not be doing podcasts. Podcasting is not trad. It is the least trad thing you can do, especially as a woman. Podcasting is not trad for men either. All you're doing is fucking chirping, okay? Soy boy, get back to doing war. Go and fucking hunt animals, okay? The fuck are you doing? Talking. Oh my God. Jesus fucking Christ. And it's certainly not womanly to put yourself in front of a fucking camera and be like, all these men need to listen to what I have to say. Get out of here. No shot. No shot. Podcasting is for weak beta males like myself and Ethan Klein. We know that we are weak beta males. We are not trad. Ironic, though, because Ethan technically is the most trad in this conversation, considering that he has children and also a wife. So there you go.
Like you do such great numbers. I'm sure you do really well income wise.
Thank you for saying that. We shouldn't pay for what other people do. Should we pay for prisoners, or should we execute
He's working to have more kids.
Those are my only options.
Well, we shouldn't pay
It's
for
either pay for prison or execute them.
Well, okay, right. That's extreme.
Either the two.
In a sense, though, I'm trying to make it like somewhat
because he was invented to distract men from making podcasts.
Like $30,000 a year for the average prisoner.
Let's be real, my friend. Any man who is making a podcast ain't getting any pussy. Okay, don't worry. She's sitting at her setup all day, rounding her bag into a C, while her only human contact is seeing the DoorDash guy walk away through her Ring camera. Her being trad is like me having a YouTube channel about deep sea fishing or some shit. Oh, that's such a good take.
You know, what would you do with prisoners? We're spending $45,000 a year. What do we do with them?
Yeah, the average is it looks like 45,000.
45,000. IVF probably costs like 10,000.
What are they in prison for? I don't know much about. This is kind of a different, topic, but I do think we should execute.
Well, they're all cost.
Watching this fucking demon speak made me completely understand why Red Scare is popular, because at least those fucking freaks are like kind of entertaining in how absolutely stupid they are. Okay, like they're dumb and that's it, but they're at least entertaining in how stupid they are. You know what I mean? She's offering nothing. Okay, she's offering nothing. She's bringing nothing to the fucking table. Okay. Jesus Christ.
First, the kids will grow up in a stable household.
Or she could do that when she's younger. Like, again,
right, but that's not how it works. And you know that. You look at the stats. Younger people are more likely to get divorced. Young people don't make as much money. Younger people have less time to spend.
What do you mean by young? So, like, I think the stat I saw was under the age of 21, but it's like above that, the divorce rate's very similar.
Do you think women under 21 should get married?
Yeah, if they want to. I think, I'm not forcing anyone to do anything, but I think more time you can spend with a husband rather than just like out on the dating market. I think that's better. I think less experience is better.
So here is an interesting analysis regarding men wanting to sleep with younger women.
The top.
So I've been trying to source that figure.
She's like desperately trying to fucking get info from whoever the fuck is watching the podcast and like giving her info.
How old is Abba?
She's
She's
27.
27. That's pretty old in your world, isn't it?
Lana Rhodes, Riley Reid. Yeah, but that's not a MILF.
No.
Wait, Lana Rhodes is quite literally living a more trad life than she is. She has a whole ass child. You are not pregnant. You are not barefoot. Lana Rhodes literally quit porn and had a kid. Okay? And she does podcasting and is probably more entertaining than whatever the fuck she's doing. So both of those, does Riley Reid have a kid too? There you go. There you go. Dude, both of these porn stars or former porn stars are infinitely more trad.
I mean, it
28.
slowly declines after like 22 or 23. It slowly declines, but
Excuse me.
18 to 28 is
And
a woman's
peak as in what? What does peak mean?
peak, like looks wise.
Okay, looks wise.
Hmm.
So I've been trying this claim that men between ages 20 and 80 want to have sex with 22-year-olds. I haven't been able to find any source for that. The only source I've been able to find is from this
Can we
book.
put the prisoners to work?
Say what?
Can we put the prisoners to work?
They already
that.
do. Yeah, they
That's
do.
exactly
They're
what we do
they're
currently.
slaves already. They work for like 10 cents an hour.
Yeah, but only
To profit
yeah,
private corporations, by the way. It doesn't benefit you at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good system.
You seem very knowledgeable in the prison system. I wouldn't call myself a prison expert.
Yeah, and
you
that's
know?
that's fair. We don't need to. I don't expect you to be. So, in terms of sourcing, this claim that old men want to have sex with, not old men, all men want to have sex with 22-year-olds around that age. The only source for that I could
So
find.
they find that the most attractive.
The only source for that I could find was a book called
Can you look up
Cataclysm.
what's the Okay, yeah.
The way that these numbers are sourced is pretty poor. So it's not really that high quality of a source. But I'll read you the results. It does say that men 20 to 50 find 23-year-olds most attractive. But in the same study, it says, but women that men find they're most interested in are women of their similar age.
But they found the 23-year-olds the most attractive.
But not the most.
How did they source interested in and desirable?
Hey, look, I told you. Attraction does not mean anything. It is not the end all be all for womanhood unless you're a misogynistic woman like JustPearlyThings. Okay? That's the whole point. That's why I was trying to tell you. It's a hidden premise of being like, oh, well, men find 23-year-olds the most attractive. What the fuck? What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. That literally does not mean anything. Okay, sick, dude. That's awesome. That's great. That feels great. Okay? It literally does not mean anything, though.
And he was basing all of this off of analyzing the raw data from OkCupid. And this was in 2014, so it was about a decade ago.
But they're most interested.
Right,
in women of
and they
their
found the
age.
same
Yeah.
conclusion that Ethan just pointed out, that though they may find younger women more attractive, who they are interested in dating falls generally much closer to their own age.
But if you have a better source on that, I'd love to hear it, because we
Or
looked.
even if you look at dating app data, like what? Because it all starts with
That's
looks
what this
for
is.
men.
This is dating.
But I'm saying it starts
dating.
with looks for men. You're not going to get in the door unless you look a certain way.
Yeah,
So
women-
I mean,
men could be attractive.
there's some older women that right, that look good enough to get into the door, but it starts with swiping, and that starts with looks. So if they find the 22-year-olds the most attractive, that's what you need to get in the door first.
I'm so confused. Aren't these the same people that say dating apps are awful because it makes women feel like they're hot shit or whatever incels say? Who cares about what dating app studies show, dude? Dating apps are not a healthy way of finding partners in the fucking wild. And it's not only That is such a consistent fact that even right wingers basically understand that and acknowledge it, as well as left wingers. I don't really get it. I don't really understand what the fuck this is
But
supposed
men,
to prove.
it starts with looks. So you don't get into the door unless you look a certain way.
Let me take Kaya out real quick.
I think you're making a big generalization about all men.
Okay, do you disagree with that? You don't think it starts
I think
with
a lot
looks?
of men have a lot of different preferences. And I think a lot of men's consideration of what attractive has a huge variance as well.
Okay.
So when you say good looks get you in the door, I mean attraction is pretty subjective, don't you think?
I think that it starts with looks for men.
And looks is pretty subjective, wouldn't
I
you
would
say?
say no. I would say it's not. I would say men tend to find the same things attractive.
Beauty is objective.
Based on what?
That's an interesting take. Okay.
Based on what?
I would say dating app data.
Which ones?
I don't know off the top of my head, Ethan.
This one from OkCupid said men are most interested in men of their own age. Or sorry, women of their own age.
It said women. They find women the most attractive at 22, 23,
yeah,
right?
But they don't want to date.
My argument.
They don't want
is
to
that
date them though. They don't want to date them. Though.
Yeah, they find them more attractive.
You guys don't let me finish. Is my argument is you need looks to get in the door.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
what does that have to do with being 22?
Find that the most attractive. Men tend to find younger women more attractive.
I think you have a really.
I think it's like dishonest to say. Do you really think it's equally as easy to date for a woman at 35 versus 22?
Again, nobody said that.
Yeah,
okay. No. Okay. Do you think it's harder for the 35-year-old in general?
I think there's less options as you get older.
Yeah, of course. I think
for men too.
And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for both partners.
Do you think it's equal? Do you think men have less options equally as much as women
as they get older?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, who fucking knows?
No, I'm asking your opinion.
You're asking my opinion. My opinion is that it's probably similar. Probably similar.
If women, yeah. See, I disagree because I saw a different dating app that the most. No, I saw a different. I think it was either OkCupid or Plenty of Fish. I can't remember which one, but it was like the most swiped right on age for women was 18, and the most swiped right on age.
Well,
for
that's
men
just
was
volume, dude. I mean, there's way more younger
50.
people on dating apps than older people.
Sure.
Like if you looked at age distribution, it'd be a vast majority of younger people.
Well, and when they asked men what age they preferred to date, I think it was like 5 to 7, like 5 years younger was the average, and women it was 5 to 7 years older. So even if we just go off of women's preferences, like men would have more options when they get older because women want older men.
That's all you're just saying stuff. I mean, you're just saying stuff based on what you think is real. I don't think any of that is necessarily true.
I mean, I could find it. I mean, I don't have like a team like you guys have.
But you say this stuff all the time on your shows, so I would expect you to be somewhat familiar with the.
I mean, it just depends on, like, sometimes you forget which one.
Sure.
You know.
You want to name a couple it could be from?
Give me a second. I'll find it.
Did you know that the number 5 porn star of all time is Lisa Ann? She's 51 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Brandy Love is number 8. She's 50. Men they like MILFs, man. Men like MILFs. They like experienced women that know what they're doing. They like men like that.
Do you think that men want that for relationships?
Do you think men want to date a child for relationships because they're more attractive?
I think men prefer younger women in general.
In relationships.
Yes.
That's just. I'm sorry, but that's not even backed up by your own data. It says men are more
younger than them typically.
Younger than them. That's a different. That's not men want to date 22-year-olds. A 50-year-old doesn't.
They're the most attracted to 22-year-olds, and looks gets you in the door.
Yeah, but it doesn't just get you in the door. That's just step one.
You're saying different things. In this culture, if a man is walking around with a 22-year-old, people are going to think that's weird. People think it's weird. 2 out of the 5. It says 2 out of the 5 top porn stars in Pornhub are 23 and under, and all of the people that you're listing started young. Oh, so they're old now.
Still popular.
They built their fan base.
I don't think it really works that way.
But they're old. They shouldn't be. They
How
shouldn't
do
be
you
hot.
not
They're
think
old.
it works that way? You guys are in media. You know damn well that you build a fan base
Bro,
over
what do you
time.
think? They're YouTubers. They're not doing Minecraft Let's Play. They're naked.
How about that?
This
Come
this
on.
conversation revolving around
I
porn
don't
is
find
not
that
a good
that analysis
conversation to
very
have.
interesting. And apparently you don't.
Porn
either.
is not reflective of like anything in
Fox
society.
22.
I think that it's kind of dumb
there's
to
porn
stars
talk
who are
about it that way
22.
because
Yeah,
it's just
yeah, of course.
another medium. It's like
The
art. You know what I
majority-
mean?
The majority are younger.
Yeah, but
Uh-huh.
not the popular ones.
The
MILF.
most popular ones are
MILF.
younger. The
Let's-
most popular ones are younger.
They're like in late 20s, you know.
My dog's barking. 1 second. Oh, be quiet. Sorry. I let her outside. It's
This
kinda
is
hot
just
in here.
devastating, dude. This is devastating.
I want to ask you.
The number one porn star is 23.
Who?
The number one porn star changes regularly. It doesn't matter. That's
It's either-
meaningless.
let me see.
It's probably friend of the show,
Eva-
Who's the number one?
it says
Eva Elfie.
I just don't
Friend
think
of the
it
show.
really
Number one
refutes
porn
either
star.
point.
Which, by the way, we literally fucking contributed to her success. I was the first podcast I think she ever did.
number one.
But even if that's true, I don't think that refutes.
Man, you can really tell that
anything,
you're a
know.
retared
It's
debate
possible that
pervert.
Number one is
What?
23.
No, I'm not a
But,
debate
But you
pervert
said-
at
but you
all. I don't like debates. I don't like debates. Is this like because FD Signifier is coming today, so you guys are just like memeing? Because my original interaction with FD Signifier was like him saying that I was a debate lord. Is that why you guys are making this joke? He already admitted that he was wrong for that. Okay, and no, I'm not a retired debate pervert. I'm not a debate pervert at all. Okay.
Citing a 2018 poll and the 2022 numbers show that the MILF drops.
The MILF
Reflect-
drops, but
He's
it's
citing a 2018 poll and the 2022 numbers show that the MILF drops.
top 5 most searched. Number 1 in UK, Southern Asia,
We
Canada,
did say
Netherlands.
that it was 2018.
Yeah, the 2018
Yeah, but I'm
one.
saying it says the 2022 one that dropped.
Oh, so men became less interested in older women in the last 5 years, I guess.
Well,
Get 'em
this
back.
year,
Well,
MILF,
hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead,
sorry,
Olivia.
MILF was number one search term this year in the UK, Southern Asia, Canada, and Netherlands.
Yeah.
And
Men
it
love
was in the
MILFs.
top 5 most searched for terms in Paris, Italy, Mexico, Spain, Poland, Ukraine, Argentina, Sweden, and Belgium this year.
And Lana Rhodes is number 1, and she's 26. But whatever, who
Really?
cares?
I'm
Let's
seeing
move on.
that? Okay.
I disagree. Listen,
Like,
I disagree.
If I were to counter Ethan right now, I could say, well, Lana Rhodes literally hasn't done porn since she was 23. It doesn't really matter because all the pornographic material that's out there available of Lana Rhodes is back when she was 23. See, like this is why it's like a bad conversation to have. It's not indicative of anything. Okay.
Find 22-year-olds the most attractive.
Yeah,
so
but
you
not
can
the most-
interpret- you
Like
can-
even
you
if
can
even if
interpret-
men found 23-year-olds the most attractive, why do you know that? I don't know. Maybe because like she literally fucking dated. She's a very famous sex worker who no longer does sex work. She has a podcast. She also openly talks about sex work. And on top of that, she literally dated someone who I know very well and who's been on the show, Big Mike. You caught red-handed? There's nothing embarrassing about, 1, admitting that you watch porn, and 2, knowing things about sex work in general, especially because this is a pro-sex work broadcast. You would be shocked to find out how many fucking OnlyFans models tune in every goddamn day here, okay? Both men and women, by the way, which is so funny. People are always like, dude, got you. You fucking... Got you, dude. You fucking know about porn. It's like, yeah, no shit. I am an advocate for sex work and sex workers. It's cute, though, when you guys go, ooh, got him. You know who Lana Rhodes is. Anyway. Like 10% of this fucking 10% of my subscriber base and gifters are like literally OnlyFans models, I think.
I mean, one, what value does that bring to a guy?
Well, it's neutral.
Yeah, I mean, I just think
I asked you what devalues it, not what
You
values
told
it.
Eva Elfie you watch her to
What
her face,
devalues
lol?
it?
Hell yeah, I did.
I think that you have more exes to compare your current partner to.
Oh, so it's insecurity.
Andrew Filer,
you
thank you for
hate
the 20
insecurity.
big ones. God
But
damn.
it's like, why would you want someone with more exes?
5 to 7 sexual partners means that there's too much to compare me to, and therefore you might think that I'm inadequate because you've had better partners.
Well, it's also like the rate. Women are happier when they're virgins on their wedding day. So
That is
What?
just something you said.
no, look. I mean, you can look up the
What?
studies on body count. I can.
Studies on body count at the Institute of what, dude? At the Institute of Bro Science? You can look up studies on body count. Like, I'm sure it doesn't. There's no shot that this study is fucking considered body count studies. Like,
Women
what the
are
fuck are you
happier.
saying?
But
The more sexual partners a woman has, the less happy she tends
But I'm
to be when
asking
she's
you,
married.
what is less attractive? Because you talk about men are looking for women who have had less sexual partners. So what is less attractive?
Telling
What
him to
makes
look it
them
up
less
when it's her job to provide data. I know. If you have these convictions
less
that are
Men don't want
grounded in
hoes.
like deep research and analysis, then why can't you fucking bring it up? Because it's not. It's never. It is never actually deeply held convictions. What is this? Literally one study. Oh, Jesus Christ. Literally a study on average body count found with one Google search. Please look shit up before judging. Isn't this the famous Brown one? This is the famous Brown study on America's body count, which is very slutty. America, sluttiest nation on
That
earth.
study was for women. It included older women too, though, didn't it?
25 to 44.
Yeah, that's the that. Yeah, I just think it would probably be more accurate if you kept women under like 35. But
So what makes a hoe?
I don't.
What does a hoe mean?
I mean, it depends on who you ask.
I'm asking you, clearly.
What do I think? I mean, from a historical perspective, really a virgin.
Let me
Like,
describe.
I think you
let
should
me
be a
describe
virgin
to
on
you
your
what a
wedding
hoe
day.
is from a historical
Okay.
perspective.
Yeah.
But what's that have to do with men being attracted? You said men don't want to date hoes. I just want to unpack that.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't want to date hoes. I don't know what that means, if I can be totally honest with you.
Men would prefer a woman with less sexual experience than more.
Oh, less? Well, so I gotta disagree with you. I just don't think that's true. I don't think men care. I don't think men care how many sexual partners their women have had, unless it's like 100. But that's true of men. Men who have had 100 sexual partners are also pretty.
Do you think women care about Drake's body count?
Why?
Like women want to sleep with Drake and like other celebrities. Do you think they care about their body count?
Are we talking
men
about
don't. Men
Drake? Or are we
men aren't
talking about
lining up,
general
but-
pop? I mean, Drake's a celebrity.
But
you know?
men aren't lining up to date like Lana Rhoades, Mia Khalifa, and like actually
You
marry
fucking
them.
crazy? Dude, are you crazy? Do you really believe that? Dude, men would, there is quite literally.
There are
people
men
would-
that would literally give their
Come
life
on,
to do that.
you can't believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think the men
would
with the
die for
most
that.
options, that's what they want to do.
Men with the most options want to do what?
We're not talking about men with the most options. Are you talking about women with the most options when it comes to Drake? Or are you just talking about average fans?
I'm talking about Drake does not have a problem getting laid because of his body count. I would imagine that
Right.
porn
That's
stars
not-
would have
yeah.
I would imagine that porn stars would have a hard time getting into marriage with a man that they respect and admire.
Aren't you the one that's always been like, let's not talk about fringe cases? What's the point of bringing up Drake? That's like the most extreme example, wouldn't you agree?
I mean, we could even go into like normal dating. I think it's
That's more
silly.
important. Yeah, let's
Like
do
this
that.
is I just think it's silly to argue that men want to date women with high body counts.
No, they don't want to. I'm saying I don't think it matters.
again.
Especially the number you gave me,
Care
5
one
to
way or
7.
the other,
Yeah, 5 to 7. I don't think men care about that in general. I just don't.
I mean, you could argue 15 to 20, 25. Like, I don't know
Dude, this conversation is so dumb. This is so insignificant. I'm losing my fucking mind. Who cares? Who cares? I can't. I'm losing it, dude. I'm losing it. This is such a dumb conversation to have. Like, even the back and forth and the entertainment on this is like,
No,
It's
not
just
because
so
of Drake.
it's so odd.
'Cause we should
It's such
remove,
a
like,
weird
celebrity
thing to
and
talk
outside
about.
kind of
Am I
influences
crazy?
from
Is this
because
actually
that
entertaining?
obviously creates unusual, fringe cases, which we don't like. We don't like to talk about those.
So then what about the abortion one
I was
earlier?
just parodying you. I was just
thought you
kidding.
liked.
No, I was just kidding.
Like there are like Ethan is at his best when
All right, one
he's
last thing.
cooking her, when he's basically fucking deep frying her, okay? On things like the wage gap or things like things that openly show that she's like a misogynistic weirdo who doesn't know what she's talking about. The back and forth on like this silly argument about body count, is this all they fucking talk about? Is this all PUA podcasts talk about? I always say I'm going to dive into the PUA side of things a little bit because I feel like they're popping and they're probably like brainwashing children. But I never actually have done like a deep dive at all because I just can't get over it. Like I can't get over the hurdle of like watching these weirdos for longer than 3 minutes at the top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break. So, if you, of course, want to no longer see ads at the Hasanabi broadcast at the top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break, all you need to do is subscribe.